In reflecting on what's been going on lately, all this chaos and destruction, people just tearing down the country, tearing down things they didn't even build. It's just, it's sad and disturbing to see how the Christian ideology has faded so rapidly within our country because as Christians, we have been forgiven and adopted and embraced by the ultimate builder, the creator of the universe. And when you see destruction, lawlessness, chaos, and disorder in Scripture, it's never, you don't see it spun in a good light. Destruction is bad, destruction is sad. Um, and as believers, we should be building something, within our home, within our minds, within our hearts, within our community, um, being constructive in lieu of being destructive just for the sake of chaos. You know, and it really starts with all things how how we see things internally is how we manifest things outwardly. And, Proverbs 23:7 says, speaking of a man or a woman, of a person, for as he thinketh in his heart, so is he. His being, his person, outwardly, what we get to see or hear is a manifestation of the inner man. Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. Out of the internal, the outward manifest what's inside a person. The characteristics of Jesus, we look even his humanity, his in deity, creator. Nothing was made outside of him. Nothing without him. Nothing that was made was made. Nothing that was created. Uh, he builds. He brings to order. He puts in a form something that is good and productive and beneficial to other people. And as believers, it would help to realize we are all building something in one form or another, and we can get sidelined pretty easily into bad projects, to say the least. But this destruction that you're seeing throughout the world, this chaos, these riots, those who are looting, who obviously have no concern, Antifa and these far left people, with the injustice that happened to a man, but they just want to destroy for the sake of destroying. They want to bring chaos. They want to tear down because they ultimately they want to rebuild something different. We as believers need to be building good things, and each of us has tools. Physically speaking, we are all on different levels. Financially speaking, we're on different levels. Geographically, different things to deal with. But each of us has abilities. Let's look at our abilities like tools. God has wired each of us uniquely with a toolbox, and we can add those skills, add to those skills, and become a better carpenter. One that knows when to tear out something bad, when to build up, how to build up things in our lives, And with that in mind, 1 Corinthians 14:12, even so, ye for as much as ye are zealous of spiritual gifts, seek that ye may excel to the edifying of the church. And edification is a construction term. It is building up. And We are to build up one another, not thinking the overall scheme. We're to build up a walk that glorifies God, a walk that honors God, learning how to discern good and evil, how to work the tools that we have and the abilities that we have within our scope of life. And to the contrary to the Creator is the destroyer, the adversary, who is characterized in Scripture as just that one that just tries to tear down everything that's good. John 10:10 says, "The thief cometh not but for to steal, kill, and destroy." And boy, that really puts a label on what we're seeing right now in many areas, that people are under the very tutelage and influence of the devil and what's going on. But on the contrast, Jesus comes to add something. He says, "I am come that they might have life, and they might have it more abundantly, full, overflowing." The Creator wants to bring about good things, build good things, knowing when to renovate, that which is bad. The devil and those that's following him just like to tear things apart. And carnally speaking, we all have that within our nature, to be drawn into that mindset where we just think, just tear it down. Good, bad, or indifferent, just tear it down. But thankfully, America had embraced at one time Christian values of building something, and with that you need freedom, and a person can explore and work their abilities and bring about something good. So we need to ask ourselves every day, we look in our toolbox, what are we building? Whether we like it or not, whether we admit it or not, whether we want to accept it or not, I think's maybe one way to look at it. The world looks at you. The individuals that we're around, that see us, that hear us, that interact with us, they look at you and you them, and you come to conclusions based on what they do. And it's the same in reverse. We need to be careful about what we do. We need to think, we need to plan. We need to pray about what we're going to do. One thing I've never seen a positive annotation on being hasty, because oftentimes we're not fueled by logic or reason or biblical principles. More often than not, I've found in my experience, and maybe you likewise, emotions. It is the driving force that's being followed after. And many times when we're hasty, it brings us to a place of regret, because we can tear things down without meaning to. And Paul uses that terminology as well in when you see the word edifying or edification. Let us therefore follow after the things which make for peace, and therewith one may edify or build up another. You see that it's bringing that which is created, somebody has to bring it forth. You know, you as a new believer, you trust Christ. He does the work. He brings forth a new birth. He creates. And as his child, he puts things in your life for you to manage and create. And not everything we can do brings that to pass. You know, when we cause someone to stumble, you know, we're destroying them. We're tearing down something instead of building up. 1 Corinthians 10:23 says, all things are lawful for me, but not all things are expedient. All things are lawful for me, but all things edify not. Not all that we do builds a good thing, whether it's within the scope of our liberty to perform those things or not. So we got to learn how to construct, learn how to build, learn how to handle the tools that God has given us. And we as carpenters, in a sense, building things in our life through the provisions of God, need to understand some things about construction. I understand in this day and age with a separation from creation, separation from hands-on jobs that once existed, we're kind of losing that ability to process things. But you know, we can speak about love till we're blue in the face. So we can take the blueprint, we can draw a blueprint out, we can examine it, we can see all the details of the benefits of constructing a life founded on faith, founded on love. But a blueprint without someone swinging a hammer is not fruitful. If you don't have the people willing to exercise and implement and construct the plans, it's just talk. And in all labor, there is profit. But if all we do is talk, it does not benefit anybody. And that kind of gives you a view upon what James is saying in James chapter 2, that faith without works is dead. You know, the blueprint without effort is unfruitful. It's unproductive. So what we're seeing all throughout the culture right now is destruction, trying to tear down history, trying to tear down the family, tear down freedom, tear down work ethic, tear down gender roles, tear down this, tear down that. We see the devil hard at work, so we need to work equally as hard to repair and construct supports around biblical principles. And this starts in our home. Ultimately, it starts in our very mind. We have to fix our mind. We have to set our mind on what steps we need to take. Because if we don't, we'll just walk more like a vagabond, aimlessly serving self through this world, and live lives that are far less fruitful than what they should have been or could have been. Paul used that terminology to edify, to build up, or construct in 1 Corinthians 3, when he says, starting in verse 10, according to the grace of God which is given me as a wise master builder, I have laid the foundation. So Jesus, and another hath builded thereon. But let every man take heed how he buildeth thereupon. For other foundation can no man lay than that is laid, which is Jesus Christ. Now, if any man build upon this foundation gold, silver, precious stones, wood, hay, stubble. So that's the deeds and the accomplishments in your life, what's taken place, what you've done in this body. Every man's work shall be made manifest, for the day shall declare it, because it shall be revealed, it be made known by fire, and the fire shall try or test every man's work of what sort it is, of what we built. If any man's work abide, which he hath built thereupon, he shall receive a reward. If any man's work shall be burned, he shall suffer loss. Loss is not good. But he himself shall be saved, yet so as by fire. Know ye not that ye are the temple of God, and that the Spirit of God dwelleth in you? So Paul uses that analogy. He went out, he exercised his faith, he laid the foundation. Jesus, that's the evangelist's ultimate goal. You lay the foundation, and then the life is built upon that. And those things that were constructed that would be considered the gold, silver, precious stones, that which is worthy of reward. When it's tested, you'll be rewarded for. That which was constructed poorly will be considered lost, though you or me would be saved as though by fire, but we would not be rewarded for our labors. Proverbs 14:1 uses a woman, and it wants to show you a wise woman. Every wise woman buildeth her house, so she builds her family. But let's look at the contrast. So you got to have a wise woman. Let's look at a foolish. But the foolish plucketh it down with her hands. She tears it down. She's working. Wise woman's working. Foolish woman's working. One is building, one is destroying. It is foolish and satanic what we're seeing go on in big cities where these riots and looting and destruction and fires and turmoil is going on. That is foolishness. If they wanted to correct anything, they would be wanting to build, not destroy, protect, not kill. But they're not operating from biblical principles, and we should be. We really, really should be. Proverbs 31 uses a woman in that analogy, meaning of the Proverbs 31 woman, a virtuous woman. She layeth her hands to the spindle, and her hands hold the distaff. She stretcheth out her hands to the poor. Yea, she reacheth forth her hands to the needy. She's not afraid of the snow for her household, for all her household are clothed with scarlet. She has built her house. That virtuous woman was wise. She built up her house, and there's blessings in that approach. Genesis, you see, one of the first things put upon man was to dress the field, to keep the field, to maintain the field. That is construction. That is trimming the weeds, pruning, maintaining something, building and maintaining that which is good, tearing down and casting off that which is evil, but not just for the sake of destruction, but for the benefit, to maintain and keep the good. So I'm hoping that that's making sense, because I'm going to keep it brief today. I just want to remind you, as we all need reminders, we are children of God. We have been brought into the family of the very builder, creator, and sustainer of the universe. And as his children, it is very important what we do. And it's equally important what we don't do many times. Refraining from that which is destructive, embracing and performing it and doing whatever's within our scope, building something that will last, laying that foundation, maintaining those good, godly Christian principles in our homes and in our communities so that we can be a light, an edifice, something good in a very dark world. Just because times are getting more wicked doesn't mean that purpose changes. If anything, the need for it increases even more so. So let's not take an approach where we just throw our hands up and give up. Even if it's on a small scale in our homes, it makes a difference. Within our direct neighborhood, it makes a difference. On the job, it makes a difference. Let's try to build something. So go to God in prayer, meditation, examining how He has equipped you with what tools. Maybe there's some tools you want to add to your spiritual toolbox. Get in His Word, dig into His Word, and find those skills. Find the blueprint and then practice exercising the art of building something good and godly and sound and stable in your life. The world has always had its problems. Our mission stays the same. Let's take it to the next level. Define love, define and discern that which is good and evil, and then let's exercise. Let's swing those hammers. Let's build something in our lives that honors God. And just know that God is not forgetful to forget, the labor that you've bestowed, but ultimately it helps others see the Lord, see His character in this world. And His character draws. So with that, like I said, I'm going to keep it short for now, but be safe out there. Anchor yourself in the Word, anchor yourself in a plan, and let's try to be a light to someone today. And every day, let's start over and just try and do it again. Let's just go one day at a time. Just one day at a time. So till next time, take care and God bless.